The City of Neenah is pleased to provide video recordings of City Council meetings. Neenah residents can get information about City Council meetings, City Committee meetings, meeting agendas, and other documents from the City website, www.neenahgov.org. Neenah residents can express their opinions about city issues by contacting the mayor's office, contacting their city alderman, or completing the electronic feedback form on the city website. All public portions of the meetings are recorded in entirety and are not edited.
Good evening and welcome. I'd like to call to order the City of Neenah Common Council meeting for Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025. The first item on the agenda is the roll call. Please indicate your presence on your roll call device, and the clerk will also call the roll.
Alderman Bruno?
Here.
Erickson?
Here.
Here.
Ellis is absent. Steiner?
Here.
Hallnow?
Here.
Weber?
Here.
And Borchert?
Here.
Thank you. Alderman Steiner, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There are no appointments to confirm this evening, so moving on to approval of the council proceedings. Is there any objection to unanimous consent of approval of the council minutes and proceedings from August 20th regular session? Any objection? Seeing none, those minutes and proceedings are approved. Moving on to the public hearings, there are 4. I will open them individually. The first, consideration of ordinance number 2025-09, rezoning land located at 122 Tyler Street, 126 Tyler Street, 134 Tyler Street, and 138 Tyler Street from the R2 two-family residence district to the I2 general industrial district. I would open that public hearing now. Is there anyone who would like to speak on that public hearing? Anyone who would like to speak on that? Anyone who would like to speak on that? Seeing no one, I will close that public hearing. Move on to the next, consideration of ordinance number 2025-10, amendment to section 26-661, parent 8 of the municipal code of the City of Neenah related to tourist housing regulations. I would open that public hearing. Is there anyone who would like to speak on that public hearing? Anyone who would like to speak? Anyone? Seeing no one, I will close that public hearing. Move on to the third, consideration of a special use permit request by Manisha Balami Mobile for the retail sale of fermented malt beverages, Class A fermented malt beverage license on property located at 521 South Commercial Street, Neenah. I will open that public hearing. Is there anyone who would like to speak on that? Anyone who would like to speak on that? Anyone? Seeing no one, I will close that public hearing. And last is consideration of a special use permit request by KN LLC Mobile for the retail sale of fermented malt beverages, Class A fermented malt beverage license on a property located at 904 South Green Bay Road in Neenah. I will open that public hearing. Is there anyone who would like to speak on that? Anyone who would like to speak? Anyone? Seeing no one, I will close that public hearing and move on to item 5 on the agenda, the Plan Commission meeting of August 26th. Alderman Steiner.
Thank you, Mayor. Minutes can be found on the city website. The Commission recommends council approve ordinance number 2025-09, rezoning land located at 122 Tyler Street, 126 Tyler Street, 134 Tyler Street, and 138 Tyler Street from R2 two-family residence district to the I2 general industrial district, and I so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Steiner.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Paulno. Is there any discussion on this item? Any discussion? Seeing none, please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 8-0.
Item number 2, commission recommends council approve ordinance number 2025-10, amendment to section 26-6618 of the municipal code of the city of Neenah related to tourist housing regulations, and I so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Steiner.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Paulno. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 8-0.
Item number 3, commission recommends council approve a special use permit for the issuance of a Class A license for property located at 521 South Commercial Street, subject to the conditions of the special use approval letter, and I so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Steiner, seconded by Alderman Lendrum. Is there any discussion on this item? Alderman Paulno.
Thank you. I just quick question, like process question. Is this an item in the future that could be a consent agenda item, or is there anything statutorily that makes this a roll call vote?
You have an answer for that? Item 3. Special use permit.
Just for future reference, I guess.
Yeah, we usually have a roll call vote. I'm not positive if it's statutorily required, but
Just a
we
thought.
typically do.
Is there a reasoning in the future potentially we could do this
We
consent?
could check if it's statutorily required, and then
Yeah.
we could make that decision.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, okay. The clerk is informing me that typically if there's a public hearing for an item, then it is a roll call vote.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion on this item? Seeing none, please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 8-0.
And item number 4, commission recommends council approve a special use permit for the issuance of a Class A license for property located at 904 South Green Bay Road, subject to the conditions of the special use approval letter, and I so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Steiner, seconded by Alderman Weber. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 8-0.
And that concludes my report.
Thank you for your report. The next item on the agenda is the public forum. Is there anyone present who would like to speak during the public forum? This is the opportunity for the public to come before council with any issue that they would like to discuss. Anyone who would like to speak? Seeing no one, I will close the public forum and move on to the consent agenda items. I'll read them out. Item A, approve change of agent for Scogan's Food Liner Incorporating, doing business as Festival Foods, 647 South Green Bay Road, to Paul Klinkhammer. Item B, temporary extension Class B combination license to Grainworks Old and New, 200 Main Street, for the annual bourbon drawing to be held September 6th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And C, temporary extension Class B combination license to Gord's Pub, 210 Main Street, to Gord's Street Dance, to be held on September 13th from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Is there any objection to unanimous consent of passage of the consent agenda? Seeing no objection, those items are approved. The next item on the agenda, reports of standing committees, the regular Public Services and Safety Committee meeting of August 26th. Chairman Lindrum.
Thank you, Mayor. As you said, I'll be reporting out from the regular Public Services and Safety Committee meeting of August 26, 2025, and the minutes can be found on the city website. We have 3 action items tonight. Item number 1, committee recommends council approve Wolf Concrete at a cost not to exceed $37,400 with an included 10% contingency to pour concrete around the new police department shed, utilizing facilities capital funds. And the chief is here if anybody has any questions, and I would so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Lendrum.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Paulno. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 8-0.
Item number 2, committee recommends council approve ordinance number 2025-11, amending section 21-27 of the Code of Ordinances relating to regulations for moving buildings, and I would so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Lundrum, seconded by Alderman Weber. Is there discussion on this item? Alderman Paulno.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd been, this ordinance change is actually near and dear to my heart. I have been advocating for this for a while, and it came up in the housing study. And as moving houses that I have in my home build, I had been discussing this also with Assistant Director Schmidt at committee, and I talked to him after that, and I also talked to the city attorney. There's language in this that has a hold harmless agreement, and if Assistant Director Schmidt could come up and explain, or kind of give it maybe a better explanation than I am. I just was looking to maybe change some of the verbiage, that the hold harmless agreement would be not have to be provided by the construction company. That would be a template utilized by the city that could just be signed.
So, David or Jerry, feel free to jump in, but the hold harmless agreement is really to protect the city against any damage that may occur from the moving of the house. So they move the house on a trailer, hits a pothole, falls, they're not able to sue the city. And I do agree that should be an agreement that is drafted by and provided to the applicant, not the other way around. So I would concur with the change.
I concur as well. We definitely want a hold harmless agreement. Who provides it should probably be by the city, prepared by my office, so that it's uniform across all uses by all applicants. So I agree with that modification of that language.
So I guess I would make my motion would be to add verbiage. It would be, and I can give this to the city clerk afterwards, to basically just say, the applicant shall, the inserted verbiage would be signed city provided agreement that will, and then complete their other verbiage with what's in there already. So I guess that would be my motion. I'll wait to get a second so I can explain it further.
I'm not disagreeing with your motion. I'm just a little bit uncomfortable considering your participation in having received a moving permit and potentially in the future. And I feel like it would be more appropriate for a different alderman to
Okay.
take up that cause if a different alderman would like to do that. But it's really because I'm just, for your protection, it's a
That's fair.
potential conflict of interest.
I had brought
for
it
you.
up at the committee. And
Right,
then,
right.
so.
Yeah, and it's
But
a
I
potential.
agree.
yeah.
I think it's cleaner,
Yeah.
so some other alderman would.
It's a potential conflict of interest for you. Council President Borchert?
I'd happy to make that amendment to this motion, as far as the addition that the city would be the one providing the information on the held harmless agreement.
Second.
There's a motion by Council President Borchert, seconded by Alderman Steiner.
Thank you, Mayor. Just, if I could add one thing, I have suggested verbiage that's very clear I could give to the city clerk, or if anybody wants to see it.
Is there any discussion on that amendment? Alderman Lundrum?
Thank you. I just want to ask the city attorney, are you agreeable to that motion, this amended motion?
Yes, I am. It makes sense, and Deputy Director Schmidt and I spoke about this very issue a week or 10 days ago and agreed that I was surprised that the one that was done recently was not done by my office, but yet I didn't remember it either. So it is something that my office should draft, and I approve that recommended motion and change.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion on the amendment? Just waiting for technology to catch up. Oh, okay. So we will be able to do the vote on this?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So the vote before you is for the amendment to the motion?
Yep.
So please cast your vote on your voting device.
Okay.
I have to go back to the original motion and vote on that.
Yeah, we'll have to go back to the original motion. Hang on.
Sorry, having a glitch with the voting. Yes.
Correct.
And Steiner second.
Excuse me.
There we go. Okay. To amend.
Alderman Erickson, is it your device working? Okay, thank you. That motion passes 7-0 with one abstention. And now back to the original motion now as amended. That was a motion by Lendrum and seconded by Alderman Weber. Please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 8-0.
And number 3, and last item, committee recommends council approve contracting with Pfeiffer Brothers Construction Company for repairs to the northeast wing wall of the Jewelers Park Drive structure over the Neenah Creek in the amount not to exceed $70,000, utilizing TID 12 funds and, if necessary, miscellaneous pavement repair funds. And I would so move.
There's a motion by Alderman
Second.
Lendrum, seconded by Alderman Paulno. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 8-0.
And that's the end of my report.
Thank you for your report. The regular Finance and Personnel Committee meeting of August 25th, Chairman Steiner.
Thank you, Mayor. Minutes can be found on the city website. Committee recommends council approve the extension of audit engagement with Baker Tilly US LLP to provide audit services to the city of Neenah and Neenah Water Utility for fiscal year 2025 in the amount of $100,500, and I so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Steiner, seconded by Council President Borchert. Is there any discussion on this item? Alderman Paulno.
Thank you. Director Rasmussen, I hope you're feeling better. One question I had is the mechanism we utilized last time because you had indicated that the plan was for next year to put some RFPs together, that kind of mechanism. Last time we did in 2015, there was like I guess nowadays it's called an ad hoc committee or ad hoc gathering or a subcommittee. Is that the intention, or what were your thoughts?
At this point, I haven't, thought of what the steps will be besides RFP being next year. So I'm going to see how other cities have done it and then follow suit with that.
Okay, because I think
So
Appleton.
it'll definitely come before Finance Committee as well as council.
Okay,
So I'll keep you informed.
okay, thank you.
Is there any other discussion on this item? Seeing none, please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 8-0.
Item number 2, committee recommends council approve resolution number 2025-09, membership commitment with Cities and Villages Mutual Insurance Company, CIVMIC, for years 2027 and 2028, and I so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Steiner, seconded by Alderman Linsky. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 8-0.
And that concludes my report.
Thank you for your report. The Neenah Menasha Joint Fire Rescue Joint Finance and Personnel Committee meeting of August 26th. Council President Borchert.
Thank you, Mayor. Minutes can be found on the city website. The committee recommends both common councils authorize staff to review and verify the bids received for the training grounds remodel and improvement project and contingent upon compliance with bid specifications, award the project to the lowest responsible and qualified bidder, and I so move.
There's a motion by Council President Borchert, seconded by Alderman Paulno. Is there a discussion on this item? Seeing none, please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 8-0. Next item on the agenda, reports of special committees and liaisons. Plan Commission meeting, no report, so nothing to report. The Board of Public Works meeting, Vice Chairman Lundrum.
Thank you, Mayor. And again, reporting out from Board of Public Works meeting of August 25th, 2025. We have one action item tonight. The board recommends council approve final pay request contract 8-25 to re-roof the Fleet and Parks Shop area at the Neenah City Services Building to JT Rams LLC in the amount of $91,549. And I would so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Lundrum, seconded by Alderman Weber. Is there discussion on this item? No discussion. Please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 8-0.
And that's the end of my report.
Thank you for your report. A report from the Community Development Authority meeting of August 25th. Director Nyforth.
Thank you, Mayor. The CDA met last Monday, and we had quite a few items to discuss. Some items are projects that staff has been working on for years and years, so it was really exciting to finally see these projects move forward. One project that we discussed was the acquisition of 1225 South Commercial Street. It's located within our South Commercial Street redevelopment corridor, so that is something that will be brought forward to Finance and Personnel, and then Common Council at a future meeting to discuss the acquisition of that so we can create a developable area along South Commercial Street. We also discussed the acquisition of property at 135 Millview Drive. That is, currently there's a warehouse on that site, and that is another site that the city staff and Common Council and various committees have been discussing for a long time as it's a gateway into our downtown. So we will also be bringing that forward to an upcoming Finance and Personnel Committee meeting as well as Common Council for consideration. We discussed 110 West Cecil Street. That's the former Donaldson site, kind of right next to Cranky Pat's Pizza. The city, we have been working very closely with the state and the Donaldson's party on trying to acquire that property to help with the cleanup of it and remediation, and the neighboring property owner from Cranky Pat's has expressed an interest in expanding their parking lot and improving the parking lot in that area, so it really is a win-win for the city that the site can be improved. It will look nice, there's gonna be some landscaping, and we'll be supporting a local business and helping them grow. We also discussed a few requests for proposals that are going to be sent out for city-owned property here. The property I just mentioned, the warehouse site, last week we sent out a request for proposals. We've talked with probably about 3 different developers right now that have expressed an interest in redeveloping on that site, which is a great sign, but we want to make sure that, you know, quite a few different developers are aware of the opportunity, so we sent it out to numerous people. So those proposals are due at the end of September. And then we also sent out a request for proposals on other property on South Commercial Street, the former Harns Furniture area. And that is another one where other developers have also reached out to us and expressed interest in that. So we really do hope that we get some good proposals on both of those sites. We're working on some other kind of DNR approvals for the Gladfelter site, and then working with Gunderson Cleaners and getting them all set up to move forward with construction at their new corporate headquarters on Dixie Road. So lots of great things going on in the CDA world.
Thank you for your report. I see that the Sustainable Neenah Committee meeting was canceled, so there's no report. We also had a handout from Alderman Bruno regarding the Bergstrom Mahler Museum meeting of August 27th. Is there anything additional that you would like to report, or just to leave us with that handout?
Thank you, Mayor. So a couple of reports from them. The Glass Arts Festival was a great success on August 9. Despite a strong thunderstorm, they raised just over $57,000 from sponsorship and booth fees. About the gallery renovations, project by Myron Construction has already begun and expect to be completed by early February. Jewels Mutual and Bergstrom Automotive Family recently committed $25,000 and $50,000, so thanks to them. To save the date, amongst the one I gave you, so first starting on September 2 through November 15, another Pumpkinette membership promotion, a widely success last year, so they renew this year. If you buy or renew your membership and contribute $20 more, you will receive a small gift. So I encourage you to do that if you are not still a member, knowing that the museum is struggling a little bit with finance this year, so they really need help. And the second, I would say, save the date on September 18, the free community event Art After Dark Renaissance Fair from 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. So it's free. You are encouraged to go as well. And that's conclude my report.
Thank you for your report. A report from the Park Commission. Alderman Weber.
Thank you, Mayor. The Park and Rec Commission met on August 21st at Southview Park. Minutes can be found on the city website. The majority of the meeting was to review the CIP from current state this year and also the budget and CIP proposals for next year. So nothing else of note to report to council. That concludes my report.
Thank you for your report. Next item, are there any petitions?
No petitions.
Are there any council directives? Moving on to unfinished business, I have asked Chief Tesh to give us a presentation as promised on the bids that were received for the Station 31 remodel project, and he'll be talking a little bit about the process and where we're at.
There you go. Last time when I stood here, we kind of talked about how the remodel would actually fit the needs as outlined in the report. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the cost of the remodel versus the cost of building new. So again, brief picture, Station 31, what we currently have, what the proposal would look like from the north and then the entrance. So now diving into remodel versus building new, right? One thing I want to point out before we go along is the cost for construction escalation versus the cost of general inflation. There is a difference there, right? Like one rises faster than the other. So you think of inflation or CPI indexes, the cost of living versus construction escalation. There's more that goes into the construction side, right? We have procedural requirements that change, tech and system upgrades, code changes, policy changes, emergency preparedness changes, material costs go up faster, shortage of skilled labor, all layers on top of that. So as we look at these next couple slides, I'd appreciate it if we can kind of keep this in mind. So there's just a graph, green line on the bottom, the regular there's CPI, and then the one on top is the construction escalation. You can see how that goes up a lot quicker. Please keep this in mind because it's actually happening a lot faster right now in real time just because of the climate we're living in. All right, so Watertown built a new fire station, right? In 2003, it went out for bid. The cost to build it was $354 a square foot, right? Not too bad. A couple years ago, in like 2017, it was about $240 a square foot to build a new fire station, right? So this is 2023. Earlier this year, 2025, West Bend went out for their new station. That cost had jumped to $430 a square foot, okay? So we see it's going up. Over in Little Chute, they're doing a station right now, and they're at the 90% phase of their documents, and they're estimating the cost to be about $503 a square foot. So we had our bids come in. The lowest bidder is looking like it's coming in at $5.9 million for a 18,599 square foot remodel. That's a cost of $317 a square foot, right? So if we took that square footage and made that a new build, we're looking at $9.3 million for a new fire station. So it is very beneficial, economical for us to continue with this remodel versus building new. When we had our 90% mark, kind of like what Little Chute has now, we were at about $6.4 million, right? So the bid came in for us at 5.9. You know, our 90% was 6.4. Our 90% included contingencies though in FF&E, so we add that in, and we're hitting that mark right around there, right? But that's just the cost of building, right? There's other costs that would go on. If we were to build new, there would be more site costs involved, more prep work, things like that. Fortunately, I'm imagining if we build new, we probably go there, so we own the land, so that's one less cost. But if you think back to that Watertown where I said it was $354 a square foot, that came out to about $12.3 million for building that station, but that was just to put up the building, right? I was involved in that project, and we were probably $15 million into it. You know, there was $800,000 for architectural fees. There was, about $500,000 just for getting the soil and the prep of the site done there. We didn't own the land where we built on, so there was a cost for us to buy that land. Here, I could envision if we have to move that over, and even if we do something with that other building, if we sell that, we lose the parking lot. So we have to build a new parking lot. We're closer to the tower, we probably have to tear that down and move that further down the road. So it's more than just that $9.3 million or whatever it was. You know, there's more costs that go into that. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions best I can right now.
Alderman Paulno?
Thank you. Chief, one question. Logistically, during this reconstruction, how will you manage service area and or living quarters, for the troops?
Thank you. Appreciate you bringing that up. We have that kind of baked in. We're fortunate that station is laid out the way it is, with half being the old tech and now it's the clinic side. Our people, we're not closing it down. Our people are going to move from the living quarter side into that area where people vote and where the clinic was. We're just going to make do for, 5-6 months over there as living quarters, kind of makeshift, and still respond out of that station. So there's no brownout, there's no shutdown. That station, that area, the people we serve over there, our only station on the west side of the highway, will be up and running the whole time.
Cool.
Any other questions? So the process for this, go ahead.
I just want to bring up one thing money-wise that came up in the committee, because the low bid, this for Station 31 in the training ground was 7.2, but the training ground is 1.3, which is higher than the second bid. So I know we're going to have, I think, some kind of decision group. I mean, just weighing in as one alderman, I think, and I hope this comes up, that Neenah pays that delta, because we would still be, as a city, better off, because the total between the first and second bid is $125,000.
Right.
So.
Just to set your mind at ease, we've already had good, positive conversation with the city of Menasha, and they are on board with us accepting the low bid.
Okay. Were
with
they
the
on?
1.3 for the shared.
They're, because
Yes.
Okay, because the aldermen and the committee weren't okay with it. Okay, so hopefully.
Well, yep. Hopefully it will pan out.
I would just volunteer, just just weighing in for the committee who makes the decision, that I think it would still be in the best interest, even if Neenah did pay that extra money difference, because we're still, overall, it's the lowest bid.
Yes, there are other considerations as well, though, including the fact that the city of Neenah had coverage for the architectural fees for the training tower.
Yeah.
So that offsets the $40,000 that they would be asked to pay.
Okay, cool, then guess we bring that up in the next Neenah Mesh Fire Rescue, so the
Yes.
aldermen and Menashe are aware.
Yes,
Because they
yes,
weren't.
yeah, we'll provide you with that. So the process, Chief, then is to move forward on the training tower, to joint fire finance and personnel, and to the Board of Public Works.
Yeah, so the station part of this, like this, the station part of this comes to Board of Public Works, I think on Tuesday or Wednesday next week, whenever that meeting is, it's like a 12:30, 1 o'clock meeting. We'll have an agenda item on there. So Board of Public Works gets first crack at it. They vote it up or down. If they vote it up, it comes to this council for a vote 2 weeks from tonight.
Any other questions? Thank you very much, Chief.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is new business, and that was an item that Alderman Ellis had brought forth, so I think we will postpone discussion on that, considering he is absent tonight. And next, are there any announcements or questions that could come before council? I have one item to discuss, unless somebody else has something ahead. We have been working on the strategic plan process for the city and have engaged the services of a group called Innovative Public Advisors. We will be outlining that process and including the council members and department heads, and then community members, the community at large, in that whole process, hoping to be kicking that off relatively soon. The city of Neenah has never had a strategic plan, so I'm very excited about this process, and I hope that it will go very smoothly for us. We interviewed and vetted 4 different applications based on our RFP for the plan process, and we're very confident in the selection that we made. We've met with them. I'm hoping that we can put together a council workshop, and the date that we were considering today is Wednesday, September 24th, and the council portion of it would probably take place between 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. Just checking with Director Nyforth. So if you are unable to make that time on that particular day, please let us know, as we're trying to nail down some of these dates and solidify the timeline with them. We would like very much to accomplish this strategic plan before the end of the year. And also just wanted to update you on the RFP for the Neenah Menasha Fire Rescue organizational review is going out tomorrow, so we hope to have good response from that, and we will keep you informed as that returns. Is there any other announcements or comments? Alderman Paulno?
Is the strategic planning, that's like is that expected to be implemented in 2026 kind of timeline?
Yes, that's the plan.
So we're just making the cake during, like, basically, okay, putting it all together.
Cut it up and serve it next year.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments? To adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
There's a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Thank you. We are adjourned.
The City of Neenah is pleased to provide video recordings of City Council meetings. Neenah residents can get information about City Council meetings, City Committee meetings, meeting agendas, and other documents from the City website, www.neenahgov.nl. Neenah.org. Neenah residents can express their opinions about city issues by contacting the mayor's office, contacting their city alderman, or completing the electronic feedback form on the city website. All public portions of the meetings are recorded in entirety and are not edited.